In June of 2015, I was asked to go on a trip to the river people in the state of the Amazon, in the country of Brazil. The trip started in this port city of Humaitá, where we got on a boat at the river's shore. As you can see, the river shore is full of mud, and as we traveled from community to community, this is what we saw: mud, and lots of it. Now we're coming out of the rainy season, so the water's up still quite high, but it's been actually much higher, especially last year. This is the boat that we used. They say it holds about 70 people. We had about 12 on the boat, 6 Koreans, a few Brazilians, and myself. I can't imagine 70 people trying to sleep on that thing at night. It was, to me, crowded already with just the 12 that were there. The trip was 6 hours in and about, I believe, 10 hours out. And it gave us a lot of time to look at the scenery, which included the trees, the river, the sun, and lots of birds. And I could just sit at the edge of the boat for hours. If they would have let me, I would have taken a small canoe and just found some cove on the river and just sat there just to see what I could see, as it was so beautiful. Here's one of the communities. We did not stop at this one, but we did stop at this one. That is the pastor there of this ministry. He's a sort of missionary. He's been reaching these people for several years, and he meets their social needs in certain respects, very limited sense, but he does go after that, especially helping them get to the doctor. And he also preaches to them the gospel. What you're looking at right in this scene here, I'm on a very large log they actually use to float their homes, like this one here. But this is to get gold from the bottom of the river. They'll pass water from the river down across this wood. There's carpet laid down, and they're able to sort through and find the gold. At this time, they told me 1 gram is 109 reais, which is going to be about 40 American dollars for a gram. This lady here, she's the mother of 10 children, and we'll see some of those children as we look here. This is the hose that they do to extract the muddy, silty riverbed up, and then of course extract the gold from that. Here's some of her sons. They're pulling up their anchor from that particular balsa, their boat they use to pick up the gold, and that anchor happens to be a motor. We went back to the house, and you have to walk through the house, and you come to the back side, and the river, of course, is on the back side too. They've got a plank, and we just walked across. This lady here, she's the daughter, and she now sort of gives us a tour of this community. The pastor, this man with a striped shirt, he knows the community already. They do have this church, which is an evangelical church. And the name of the city you saw on the side there is Canaparatuba. Carapana means mosquito, and tuba means many. It's an indigenous language. Though these people don't speak it, they speak Portuguese and speak it well. But they've named the city Mini Mosquitoes. I say city, it's really just a community. There's very little there. No hospital, the school the kids have to travel by boat to get to in another community. And these are their homes. This family, this husband and wife made a profession of faith while we were there. Here's another family we met. We had a great time talking to people, laughing with them. They have a sense of humor. In one sense, they're very normal. It's where they live and how they have to live that to us is very abnormal. But as far as people, we're just like any other Brazilians. What you just saw come up is what they call a pink boto, or it's a type of dolphin that lives in the river. And they were, of course, fishing for smaller fish. Lots of commerce is accomplished on the river. Those boats were carrying, we saw boats carrying all sorts of things, from fuel to trucks. Now this particular community seemed a bit poor. They were farther off the river, and we had to travel across these wooden planks to get back to them through the brush. And a bit precarious, but it wasn't hard to get to. And we were actually able to spend a good amount of time with them. I came to observe, to get to know the ribeirinhos, to get to know the type of work that was being done with these. I was told there's still 3,700 communities that have no missionary presence whatsoever. Much to do, and that's one reason we would love to see our church here reach these people. But they're very simple. That group of people you just saw, all of the adults made a profession of faith at that time we were with them. And the Lord knows their hearts. Here's Pastor Mello talking about his Bible and how old it is. And we're inside the boat. Spent a lot of time just talking, discussing ministry, life with the ribeirinhos, life on the boat. Mosquitoes came up all the time. Because there were so many. We'd have to cover the boat in a net and sleep with mosquito nets at night. This is the base. This is the community where he's seen the most fruit. And the people are very, very kind, very friendly. And it was a joy to be with them. And you could see how the gospel had begun to work in their lives more than just saving their souls. We are coming well into the dry season, but it still rained while we were there. In fact, one trip on the smaller boat, this one we're right here, we actually got out in the rain and we were drenched, but it was no problem. Though it was cold when that rain hit. This is a Catholic community. The Koreans wanted to try to hold a service in the school. The school there allowed them, and so here they are singing with Catholic kids in a Catholic school in a Catholic community that has its own bishop or priest, and they allowed them to go in. And so the Koreans were able to do their work, and I was able to observe what they were doing, working with them. Now this community was a little larger. This boy here in the red shirt, he goes to the Catholic school, and he was walking with me as I videoed things around his home. He has sheep and a little lamb I just had to get a video of so that my children could see it. And also they have fish up on the rails of a fence that you can see there. Here's Milena. She's a little Indian girl whose mom married into the river people. She's a very sweet young lady. She helped me do some things there. One of them was to clean the manioc root that the people were harvesting and preparing to make flour with.
Milena. Hello, Milena.
Here's a bird some of the boys caught who are doing what boys do. It was a wild bird out there, and they tied it up. I don't know what they plan on doing with it, but there it sat.
Mas é preciso aprender que nem tudo é bonança. Vem a hora da dor, vem a desesperança, vem a ingratidão, vem o desamor. Mas apenas nessas horas adore ao Senhor.
Those were some girls singing there. We heard them singing. We walked up to their home. We asked them to sing for us, and so they did. Now, here's the family. They used to just do fishing. The pastor brought them on the boat machines to make this flour from the manioc root, and they have taken upon themselves to work as a family. And so they harvest it, they clean it, they skin it, they clean it, then they place it in that larger blue, what they call water box, and they soak it overnight, and then they'll grind it down, make a sort of mush out of it that they then convert into a flour with another machine. and I had my part in helping them for a while.
Don't sir.
They do go to school, though not all the schools are right in their own community. So these little kids without a life preserver in a river full of alligators will get up in their little boats and travel off from their community off to school every day.
Bacana.
And here they are, some of them going off to school. And don't worry, that bird didn't die in the propeller. It just wanted to go under the water and get away from us. But we wanted to get out and see a friend, a family member actually, of one of the men in the boat here. But we got lost.
E agora ele que sabe. E agora, José? Não tem a...
We made it, and here the man who lives at this home, he makes honey out of sugarcane through this kiln that he made right there in the ground on his property. Here's the river at sunset, and there's the sunset behind us. We had just gone off another trip to go look for alligator. We didn't find any, but this delivery boat was coming into the community. It doesn't stop. The big boat does not stop at every community. It continues, but the little boat will pull things off and then quickly go into the community, make the sale or whatever, however it works out, take the next request from the community, and then drive back on out. And here's some of the guys that I spent a lot of time with. Those two guys in the front there, had a great time laughing with them and talking to them about the Lord. You see that smaller boat coming around the front of that moving boat. And they all told me that was probably not the best thing to do, but this kid's been driving this boat, doing his deliveries for a long time. To him it was probably normal.
Que legal.
Now back there at the base, one of the men had come across this panther. They call it onça, and he killed it, skinned it, and hung its skin on the wall there inside of his home. It was nighttime, so we brought our flashlights. We wanted to see it. And we wanted to find an alligator. We finally did. Just right across right there in the front of the community, right next to the boat, about 20, 30 yards away from the boat. But it was just a little baby, the only one we saw. I was able to video this, though, from off the little boat. Shine flashlights on him, and he didn't move, but we got a good picture of him, what he'd show of his head. This is a caterpillar. And here are our little cocoons, our mosquito nets, on the second story of the boat. Another morning I got up early and nice and quiet, was able to film. Now the next day came, and so the people were able to continue working on the manioc. As you can see here, it comes out into that mush down below, which then in the machine to the back right is where they will continue the process, which I was not able to see. That man in the back of that boat, driving that boat, he was the one who lost his eye to an alligator attack, about a year ago. I'm not exactly sure the date. It was pretty severe. The Lord took care of him, and it's really changed his life. The Lord used that bad thing for good. Here's our boat. We're traveling up from behind it because we'll be advising or letting people know up ahead of us that this large boat's coming in, and that was our goal, to be on the little boat. And here's some of the men being themselves. Don't worry, they didn't always sit on the front of the boat, but they saw the camera and they wanted to take advantage of the opportunity. Of course, the river goes up and down between the rainy and dry seasons tremendously. And you can see that we're basically traveling through a flooded forest. And one of the folks on the boat said it was like a dream as we were driving through. And it was beautiful. Parrots can live a long time, some up to about 100 years. They said this one's been in the community for about 30, and it speaks and laughs and imitates many things that they say.
Hey, coisa feia.
Yeah, I don't know what this was, but it was under the house, the same place where the parrot was. And that little boat that just passed was just a little kid driving that boat. And you see all sorts of things out there. No driver's license needed, of course. This young Korean gal, she is giving her testimony. And this other Korean actually was born in Korea but has lived in Brazil for 15 of the 18 years of his life, and he's translating for her into the Portuguese language. The ribeirinhos all speak Portuguese. And here was the last service we held. From what I understand, this is one family. And they asked me if I would speak, and I said I would. And I spoke on the grace of God that saves us. And they were very attentive. Now, the Koreans actually took the children to the boat and did a special service for the children, and I was able to give them one dedicated message to the adults. And it seemed just about everybody had a wonderful time. We had a few people. I know one, he had a bad headache most of the trip, was not able to participate. But everyone who was able to really, really had a great time. Nobody got sick, though we almost all of us, had mosquito bites all over. And it's just a part of the work. But we had a great time, and we knew the Lord had blessed, and I was able to get to know a lot about this type of work, and our prayer is that we'll be able to continue to see these types of people reached, and hopefully our church we're planning here can take part in that type of work. Your prayers would be definitely appreciated.